Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of that Respect to Combat podcast. Yes, it is me, Das Bear Pagan, Eric Goldstein. I promise it's me. I know I look a bit different because, well, my hair's gone and my beard's a lot shorter. But as I said last night on a separate podcast, I upgraded from the homeless package to the corporate package. So, how y'all doing today? Thank you for taking time out of your day to spend some time with, me, because I'm solo today. I'm not completely solo because, as always, we have an interview today. But Danez, Trico, and Monkey, for some reason, thought it was a good idea to trust me alone. Well, within the next hour, you're probably going to see that was a very bad decision. Now, with that being said, our guest for today is a 16-year veteran on the independent wrestling scene. You have seen him on Montana Championship Wrestling, Allied Independent Wrestling Federation, Primos Pro Wrestling, Southern Extreme Wrestling. I just realized I did a fucking spelling error on the goddamn flyer that I pushed out. Well, that's on me. Southern Extreme Professional Wrestling, WWN, Battleground Pro Wrestling, and many other promotions around the United States. Mr. Sean O'Reilly, how are you doing today, sir?
How you doing, boss man?
Wish I would have spell checked this flyer before I pushed it out because I'm surprised nobody said anything. Like
I missed it too.
Oh no, not even just us. Like, I'm surprised not a single person called me out on it. Like that. You know what? It makes me feel loved. Thank you all. I really appreciate it. It makes me feel like I'm on y'all's good side, I guess. Now, before we hop into these mainstream highlights for today, but a little something that I ended up seeing this morning, and I reshared the post. It was by one. Let me make sure I give her flowers. Tanya Harris. She made a post about podcasters. Now, obviously, when I saw the word podcasters and I realized it was about wrestling, obviously I looked because, wrestling, I work in the industry, and I'm also a podcaster. So, with that being said, this is something I'm noticing as a problem overall with a lot of people that are running interviews nowadays. And I feel like it's best that I just address it full-fledged right now. People, for some reason, feel like it's okay to ask questions to professional wrestlers that aren't necessarily in regard to their current career. And when I say their current career, they're just going to hop on and first question out of their mouth, "Ooh, why aren't you signed to WWE? Well, when do you think you're going to go work for the Fed? Well, when do you think you're going to get a tryout? Well, when do you think you might get a dark match with AEW? Well, when do you think you might be able to go get some Uncrustables out of catering?" Dude, nobody cares. Like, there's some of these guys on the independent wrestling scene that don't even want to go work for WWE or AEW or TNA. They don't want to work for any of them. They just want to do their thing and live the dream and have some fun and make some money while doing it. Now, the other thing that's also bothersome is that when you're bringing up stuff in regards to a company that they work for, but it is in no regard whatsoever to their career. AKA, I watched this recently, actually, and I'm not trying to call out my buddy because he's a really close friend of mine, but Pretty Boy Smooth, he did an interview a few weeks ago with this company that I'm not going to name, and they immediately bring up to him about a spot from Samhain a couple of years ago where Father James Mitchell may or may not have been doing some illegal substances while the camera was on him. I will not be saying what said illegal substances are because I work for said company and I do not want to get fired. I enjoy working for NWA and I enjoy getting paid bi-weekly. But the point I'm making here is that that's a very awkward question to ask somebody who wasn't even a part of the company when that happened. So why are you trying to put him in a very awkward position by asking him that question? Because if he answers it positive, okay, cool. But if he answers it negative in a way to where the company is not okay with it, now that's going to fall back on him. And you're doing that just so that then you have clickbait. You're doing that so that then you have a hot clip to go post on social media that you hope gets millions and millions of views and gives you some type of payday to where then you could actually quit your 9-to-5 job. Now, what I have to say in response to that is do better. And what I mean by do better is it doesn't matter if you're picking up some guy that you literally just met at the gas station who told you he's been a professional wrestler for the last 6 months. You got to do the research. You got to make these guys feel like stars when they come on here. And you need to actually understand how to pay your respects to the industry and pay your respects to the business that you claim to love so much. And the reason why I say it like that is because of the fact that there's a lot of people in this realm that we call the independent wrestling community that are just extremely toxic, like extremely, extremely toxic. And they make it almost to the point where people hate professional wrestling because of how bad it is. And what I have to say to those people is, do you bring any form of value to these companies that you create opinions of? Do you bring any value with anything that you're doing in your current life? Like, genuinely speaking, like, is there anything that you are currently doing in your life that you will sit there and say, you know what, I'm happy with this? Or is it more so that your life is just so depressing that you're stuck flipping burgers at Wendy's that you just got to find something to bitch about every single day? I'm going to go with B, because I'm pretty sure it's B. Because most of y'all smell like burgers and fries.
I kind of take an insult to that.
Look, if you work in the fast food industry, that is different. Then obviously you're going to smell like burgers and fries because you're around it all day. But I'm talking about like the 400 plus pound neck beards that are on Twitter hyperventilating, just typing out their post.
True. I'll give you that.
Like, I just don't understand these people where they think that they have such a where they think that their opinion is so valid that they then have to push the hate onto other people.
Agreed.
And then spread the hate. And it's not even just in wrestling, it's in the world in general. And I genuinely think we all need to start getting along more. I think people need to actually start understanding that there are going to be differences of opinion, that people are going to have different thoughts on everything, and that it's not the end of the world just because it happens. Like, okay, you have one opinion, I have another opinion. You like tomatoes, I like cucumbers. You like oranges, I like apples. Like, as long as it's nothing that involves racism, pedophilia, or anything of that nature, it's nothing that's actually going to severely cause any harm to your life. So I genuinely think that people just need to get a grip. And also, if you're going to run a wrestling podcast and you're going to have people coming on for interviews, make sure you do research on them. Make sure you're bringing up questions to them that they actually want to talk about. Because if you don't, then you're just going to look like a dick. I mean, I'm sorry. Look, you're going to find out in the next hour. I'm extremely unfiltered. Now, with all that being said, our mainstream highlights for today. Starting off, Queen Aminata and Hikaru Shida made their returns to AEW this past week just to put over Willow Nightingale. Now, I'm not saying this as a diss to Queen Aminata or Hikaru Shida because they're both amazing talent. And from what I've heard, they're really remarkable people as well and genuinely good human beings. I put this more on Tony because this is just terrible booking. This is what happens when you got like 200 plus people on your goddamn roster and you only got 2 shows a week. Like, how are you supposed to fit 200 plus people in 2 shows a week? You can't. And that's what happens, because then you have like your mainstay people that come in like every single week. And then you got your other people that are literally just sitting at home collecting a paycheck. Now, don't get me wrong.
Wish I could do that.
Yeah, don't get me wrong. I'm sure the paycheck's nice. But it's like, I know from a personal perspective, that starts to bother you guys. And it starts to get under your guys' skin. And it's like, man, I just want to work. And I mean, me even personally running my business, like I even say to clients, like, unless you need me to do something or there is something that if there's a service you're paying me for, do not pay me. I'm like, I don't need a handout. I don't want sympathy. I want to make sure that whatever I'm being paid, I'm earning it and that I'm working for it. Just because that's the type of person I am. And I realize that's also how professional wrestlers are. They want to make sure that whatever they're being paid, they don't care if they're making millions upon millions of dollars. They want to make sure that they're earning that paycheck. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong with saying that.
No, you're right. We just want to work and collect our paycheck and earn it.
Yes. And currently, there is only one WrestleMania women's match that isn't up in the air due to injuries. Oh, Jesus. Oh, boy. There are multiple reports circulating that the Io Sky versus Asuka match is still being decided depending on the status of Nikki Bella's ankle. If she is cleared, then both matches will go on as scheduled. If not, Asuka and Kairi are the ones slated to take their place, which in turn will postpone Asuka versus Io. And if you're wondering why, Nikki Bella had a problem with her ankle. I'm not exactly sure what the exact issue was with her ankle, but there you go. At least it wasn't a pop titty. Liv Morgan and Roxanne Perez went into concussion protocol after cracking skulls on Raw, which
that was brutal.
Who the fuck put that spot together? Who the fuck did that? We are 2 weeks like shit. I can't believe I'm actually talking like this, but I feel like I actually have a right to talk like this now that I actually work in the wrestling industry. We are 2 weeks out from WrestleMania. Not even 2 weeks. We are a week out from WrestleMania, your biggest show of the goddamn year. And you got one of them, your Royal Rumble winner, in a spot like that? What? That was just a very, very poor booking decision. That was a very, very poor booking decision. You should not be putting them in situations where they could possibly get hurt.
I mean, did you see the goose egg on Liv Morgan's forehead?
Yes, and the goose egg on Roxanne's forehead.
I didn't see that when I seen Liv's on Facebook, but that's still the factor of Jesus.
Oh yeah, that was bad. And then on top of all this, no official word on what the injury or reason was, but Rhea Ripley had to get stitches on her inner thigh this past week. Don't know why. Yeah. Hopefully it's nothing serious and she'll still be able to wrestle Jade at WrestleMania. Outside of any changes, the cards for both nights have been revealed on ESPN this past week. Saturday night's main card, the first will be 6-man tag team match, the Usos and LA Knight versus The Vision and I Show Speed. I'm kind of genuinely excited for this. I hope I Show Speed gets multiple bumps. Drew McIntyre versus Jacob Fatu in an unsanctioned match. Then for the WWE Women's Tag Team titles and a fatal 4-way, Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss take on Bayley and Lyra Valkyria, take on the Bella Twins, taking on the champions, the Irresistible Forces. And then for the Women's Intercontinental Championship, we will see AJ Lee defend against Becky Lynch. In a singles match, we will see Seth Rollins take on Gunther. AKA, I'm going to retire your daddy. AKA, I'm going to retire your grandpa. AKA, I'm going to retire your whole goddamn family lineage. And then, if she is out of concussion protocol, Stephanie Vakir will be defending the Women's World Championship against Liv Morgan. If she's not out of concussion protocol, well, I don't know. I genuinely don't know how that will go then. And in the main event of night one, we will see Cody Rhodes defend the undisputed WWE Championship against Randy Orton alongside Pat McAfee. God. We're gonna get into that. We're gonna get into the CM Punk pipe bomb here in a second. Now, on Sunday's card, on the first hour, we will see in a 6-way Intercontinental Championship ladder match, Penta will be defending the Intercontinental Championship against JD McDonough, Javon Evans, Rey Mysterio, Rusev, and Dragon Lee. And then in a true battle of the mates, it'll be Brock Lesnar versus Obafemi I think this is like the one match I'm genuinely like very hyped for.
I am too, is that match.
I am so hyped for it. Like, they're going to kill each other.
Y'all, it's going to be a good match. I can't wait for that one.
Mm-hmm. I just hope it doesn't turn into like a fucking 2-3 minute squash match, because then I'll be really pissed. Now, for the United States Championship, we will see Sami Zayn defend against Trick Williams. For the WWE Women's Championship, Jade Cargill will defend against Rhea Ripley. Then, in a singles grudge match, the Demon, Finn Balor, will be facing off against Dominic Mysterio. And in the main event of night 2 for the World Heavyweight Championship, CM Punk will be defending against Roman Reigns. If I'm being completely honest about this card, it's a little lackluster. It's completely lackluster, in my opinion.
Only matches that look interesting to me is the Randy and Cody, because of the history between those two.
Yep.
The ladder match, because I've always been a fan of ladder matches.
Yep.
Obi and Brock.
Yeah.
And then, of course, after watching the other day, yesterday or last night, the CM Punk pipe bomb and Roman Reigns match is now getting interesting to me.
Oh yeah, no, the Roman Reigns CM Punk match is now definitely very interesting to me, and I'm curious now almost if Pat McAfee is almost gonna fuck him over, CM Punk, to try to get back at him for quote unquote talking shit.
Well, apparently, from what I'm reading and what's being said is that Pat went completely off script when he was revealed.
Wait, what?
Yeah, it's supposedly he went off script on Raw or SmackDown.
Oh my god. That is see, and this is what happens when you put someone into the wrestling business and you tell them, hey, this is the script. And they never been in the wrestling business, because then they're just going to be like, hey, I got an idea. And they don't understand why said idea doesn't work.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also, we did see La Catalina jump from CMLL to AAA, which this is the first time we've seen a star from CMLL make the jump to AAA since AAA has been purchased by the WWE. It is being reported that she will be making her debut tomorrow night for AAA. So very excited to see that. Hopefully we end up actually seeing that. We will have to wait and see, obviously. And something that honestly shouldn't come to anyone's surprise, Alberto Del Rio / Del Patron / Del Retard has been arrested for domestic violence against another partner and is now looking at 20 years in prison. Which, why can't this man just keep it? Why can't this man just keep his hands to himself? Why can't he just keep his hands to him? How many times has he been arrested now for fighting?
Alberto?
Yes.
Oh, I don't know.
Too many. I've lost count. Like now this week he gets arrested for domestic violence against his wife.
Did he really?
Yes. He's facing 20 years in prison.
Oh, stupid decision. Win, play stupid games, win stupid prizes.
Man, that dude's just a different kind of stupid. Now, Brian Idol did unsuccessfully cash in the Lucky 7 this past week on NWA Power for a shot at the 10 pounds of gold against Silas Mason. But if we're being completely honest, I mean, he kind of got screwed there. Like, let's be real there. Like, he had fucking Kerry Morton out there. He had Alex Taylor out there. Then randomly, God knows what reason, Carnage came out and distracted him. Like, the cards were completely stacked against him. Like, people, for some reason, like, he was just not meant to walk out with the NWA World Heavyweight Championship. Although I am kind of intrigued now because of the fact that Silas Mason did a friendly fire on Kerry Morton, and Kerry Morton seemed a little angry about that.
Oh,
yeah, but we'll have to wait and see how that plays out. Now, tonight on SmackDown, the long-awaited debut of Royce Keys, it was only 3 fucking months ago, will be making his in-ring debut for SmackDown.
Finally?
what? Yeah, finally. Fucking
Jesus.
finally. Yeah, I was wondering why that was taking forever. Fucking Christ. Took them long enough. I was wondering for a second why it was taking them so long.
I would have liked to see that Royce Keys versus Brock. That would have been a good match too.
Oh, yeah. Now, something that got revealed yesterday was CMLL will be officially debuting on Mexican FS2 on April 24th, and that will also be their anniversary show. I'm happy to see the progress that CMLL has been able to make. They've genuinely been making a lot recently. So kudos to them. Now, someone who did not have something nice to say this week on podcast, on social media, MJF. Now, if you haven't been paying attention online to what's been going on with TNA, recently TNA has been pulling talent from independent shows where they were booked in matches with AEW talent. Now, there's a lot of different reports going around as to why. There's one report saying that Carlos Silva was mad that they ran Collision on Thursday competing with Impact. Another report is that, they just have difference of opinions on certain things. Other report is that there's still bad blood from the failed TNA AEW relationship before. And I don't know what it is, but at the end of the day, you're
messing with people's money.
That's what I was going to say. You're messing with people's money now. And the only person that you're going to make mad by doing this is your roster. And go ahead.
I think what it was is that since TNA partnered with WWE.
Yes.
And I think what happened is TKO found out AEW guys were on this show. That's why they're pulling them, because with TNA, not knocking TNA, I watched TNA religiously, especially back in the earlier days.
Right.
What it is that TNA was going under, I believe.
All right.
And they were losing more money than they were bringing in. And then now partnered with WWE, they can put on these big ass shows that they're doing was phenomenal. But I think TKO caught wind that AEW guys were on the show and on the card, and it kind of upset TKO.
Right.
Is what I believe, but I don't know nothing. I'm not there. I'm not in the board. It's just my speculation.
Yeah. I mean, from what I understand, TKO has no involvement with it, and that's fully TNA that's been making the decisions. So that's just what I've heard. I'm not 100% positive if that is the truth or not, but as I always say, time will tell when it actually finally comes out. Now,
yep.
This weekend, we will be seeing TNA Rebellion in Cleveland, Ohio from the Schottenstein Center. Now, this weekend's card on the preview show, we will see Ryan Nemeth take on BDE. And then in a singles match for the X Division Championship, Leon Slater will defend against Cedric Alexander. Then in a singles match, Frankie Kazarian will be taking on Elijah. And then what next? Then Nick Nemeth will be taking on AJ Francis in a singles match. And then in a singles match for the TNA International Championship, Trey Miguel will be defending against Mustafa Ali. In a 6-woman hardcore country tag team match, the Elegance brand, Ash by Elegance, Heather by Elegance, and M by Elegance, with Mr. Elegance and the personal concierge, Jesus Christ, that's a lot of elegance, will take on Mickie James, ODB, and Taryn Terrell.
It's a lot of words.
Yeah, lots of words. Then, in a singles match, Moose will take on Special Agent Zero, aka Bill Collier. Then, wait, I lost the card. Holy shit, there we are. In a singles match for the Knockouts World Championship, Ariana Grace will defend against Lei Ying Lee. Then, in a tag team match for the TNA World Tag Team Championships, the Hardys will defend the championships against the System. And then in a singles match for the TNA World Championship, where Eddie Edwards is cashing cashing in his Feast or Fired contract, Mike Santana defends against Eddie Edwards. Pretty stacked card. I definitely think it'll be a good show. I mean, TNA's been putting out solid shows for the last couple of years now. Just, let your wrestlers unless it's in the goddamn contract, let them work where they work. Or I'll come there and kick you in the dick with my steel toe boot. I will do it.
You're not lying.
Like, just if you're not paying them that much and nothing's on their contract stating that they can't do this, then don't restrict them from doing it. It's that simple. Like, don't restrict their money, because then you have a less chance of having them resign because you pissed them off. Now, this weekend on Sunday, we will see AEW Dynasty, which, holy shit, I'm in shock. We actually have a card from AEW that's under 10 matches. Well, then again, I think now I just spoke too soon, because he still has Collision and he's probably going to add all the preview matches tomorrow night. Fuck!
I was waiting for it.
But as of right now, on the preview show, we will see Alex Windsor take on Marina Shafir. And then in a tag team match for the AEW World Tag Team Championships, we'll see FTR defend against Cope and Cage. Then in a singles match for the AEW Continental Championship, we will see Jon Moxley defend against Will Ospreay. Then Andrade El Idolo will take on Darby Allin, where if Allin wins, he will receive a future AEW World Championship match. Wait, what? Why is it only if Darby wins? What happens if Andrade wins? Then it's just a fucking hot dog and a handshake? That's it? Like, what?
No, wrong room. In. Go to bed. I gotta put you in your kennel. Sorry.
Like, no, you're good. Like, fucking that. Okay, that match don't make no sense to me. Andrade versus Darby Allin, and if Darby Allin wins, he gets a future world championship shot. Why only Darby Allin? What about Andrade? So what if he wins? It's just like, okay, thank you, fuck you. That is hands down, okay, whatever. Tony Khan booking. Now, then in a singles match for the AEW Women's World Championship, Thekla will defend against Jamie Hayter. We will see a Casino Gauntlet match for the vacant AEW TNT Championship due to Kyle Fletcher being injured. Then in a tag team match, the Young Bucks will take on the Don Callis families, Kazuchika Okada and Konosuke Takeshita. And then in a singles match, Chris Jericho will be taking on Ricochet. And most likely the main event, in a singles match for the AEW World Championship, MJF will be defending against Kenny Omega. Please, for the love of God, let Kenny Omega go over here. I'm sick and tired of seeing MJF's title reign. Please just let Kenny Omega go over, because Kenny Omega, when he was AEW World Champion, that was peak. That was peak AEW right there, in my opinion. I loved every second of his world title run.
Kenny Omega's?
Yes.
Yes.
I loved every second of it. So please let him go over. Now, last weekend we did have NXT Stand and Deliver, where we did see two new champions crowned. We saw Tony D'Angelo become the first Grand Slam winner in NXT history, being a former NXT North American champion, NXT Tag Team champion, and NXT Heritage Cup winner. So he is now officially the only man in NXT to have ever held every single men's title. And Lola Vice is officially a double champion, as she won the NXT Women's Championship. And she is now a double champion, as she is also one half of the AAA Mixed Tag Team Champions. Both champions will be defending their titles over the next 2 weeks. JC will also be receiving her rematch with history on the line either way. And Tony's first defense will be against Ethan Page. Now, Mr. Sean O'Reilly.
Yes.
You have been a professional wrestler for the last 16 years. What would you say one of the biggest life lessons you have taken away from this business?
Learning.
Yeah.
Always stay learning.
Do you want to elaborate, I guess, a little bit on that?
Training, learning as the business grows and it expands pretty much. Like stay ready, stay sharp because you never know when an opportunity is coming. That's why you got to still learn, still train. You know, like Ric Flair, he's 60 something years old and he still trains and still learns something new every day.
Yeah, exactly. Now, back in February of 2024, you got to work an SXPW show where you were involved in a tag team match against Tom Latimer and Chris Adonis.
Yes.
What was it like getting to work with those two gentlemen?
Oh, phenomenal. Learning how they own their craft. I'm sorry, my kid's screaming.
You're good.
My fault. Pretty much staying like learning with them. It was an honor. You know, it was our last show with mine and my wife's company. That we took over for our dad because my wife has heart issues. So we had to take care of that. But
Right.
that was just getting the feedback from them was a great honor too. To work a guy that's been in WWE, been to the big leagues, a guy that's been NWA heavyweight champion, a guy that's been in TNA. Just learning from their experience and then taking their advice and running with it has been a great honor.
Hell yeah. No, I've heard nothing but great things about both of them, and I've heard that they're two of the hardest workers on the scene, honestly.
They
Yeah.
are. I mean, still to this day. I mean, I'm friends with Masters or Adonis and Latimer on Facebook. And just watching them travel and do different shows and stuff. It's pretty cool to see Adonis still working as hard as he did in the WWE.
Oh yeah.
To this day.
Oh yeah, 100%. Now, also back in 2024, you got to share the ring with one of our past guests, Slick Tyson Jones.
Oh, Mr. Jones.
What would you say it was like getting to work with him?
Hey, that was another solid match that me and him had. Still talk. Matter of fact, I was just talking to him yesterday. Great dude, great friend. Proud to call him a brother. Proud to share the ring with him when I can. Great thing is that every match that me and him have done, we've never planned anything.
Nice.
Nothing. Like, I work a little different than most people. I don't like planning stuff because it's one of those things of I'll be more worried about the next spot than interacting with the fans.
Right.
So it's one of those things that, if I don't plan, like I'll plan the beginning, the end, and how we're going to go over or how the end's going to go. If we walk and talk in the middle, perfect. I can still interact with the fans and get the match over.
Exactly. No, that honestly makes complete sense. I mean, from what I've learned, because I also work with Exodus Pro Wrestling out in Cleveland, like pretty much with a wrestling match, as long as you got the beginning of the end, then it doesn't take all that much work to figure out the rest. Like it's pretty much improv.
Yeah, and you don't if you the less you make the match look robotic, the better the match will be, and
Yes.
that's the thing.
Yes. I always say I've always been told keep it simple because I used to be one of those guys that really liked all the high spots and whatnot. And it's like, okay, no, you don't have to do like a 720 senton off the top rope just to get over.
Less is more.
Yes, very much so. Now, I was gonna say just because I did get to do a little bit of a deep dive on your career, and I've noticed you've done a little bit of everything. Now, when I say everything, I mean you've done a little bit of catch wrestling, you've done a little bit of technical, you've done a little bit of death match, you've thrown in a little bit of lucha in there. So, would you say that you're more so of what they call a hybrid wrestler, seeing that you're able to basically just change your style no matter depending on what type of show it is?
It's more of I'm more adaptable to my opponent.
Okay.
And that's the thing where and it goes back to learning and training and stuff like that, because you do have different types of opponents. You have luchadors, you have your hardcore wrestlers, you have your deathmatch wrestlers. To be honest with you, never thought I'd ever do a deathmatch a day in my damn life. Just being real. But it was fun. you know,
Right.
because it's different. You get to experience different crowds.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like one of my all-time favorite death matches that I ever did was it's Slave to the Death match down here in Denver, Colorado at Primo's Premier Pro Wrestling.
Oh yeah.
That, you know, I think it was 2 years ago. I think it was in 2024. I worked Necro Butcher.
Oh shit.
Um, yeah, and let me tell you something, it was a fun match, but it was a wake up call because he's a very, very old school worker.
Right.
Where they actually make connections and you'll feel it, you know, and if you
Yeah.
don't hit them back, they're going to hit you back 10 times harder.
Exactly.
But that was one of my best matches I think I've ever had in hardcore deathmatch ever. And just learning and just hearing him praise me about the work that I've done and the good job I did with him was phenomenal. As far as considering me a hybrid, I guess most people do. Um, because I can adapt my style to anything depending on what my opponent is. I mainly work technical. I used to do the flippity floppity crap. But as I got older and injuries started to happen, and it was more now I need to do something that, you know, I can do longevity, which was more technical.
Right. No, and that
So,
makes complete sense. I mean, I feel like it's always a good thing to have fun when you're doing
mhm.
this, like especially trying out new things, because you're not going to, in my personal opinion, you're not going to learn unless you try something new. And I've even learned that from the back end of things because, you know, when I came into not necessarily NWA, but when I started working with Exodus, I mean, first day I showed up, I'll tell you right now, I fucked up. I fucked up first day I showed up because one, I didn't show up until like, what time was it? I didn't show up until 5 and doors opened at 6. So that was my first fuck up. Second fuck up, I wasn't dressed properly. I was in a white t-shirt, cargo shorts, and fucking high knee socks with sandals. And I was there to shoot photos. And so, by the way, if EC3 is watching this, hey, hi, EC3, hi, thank you for not firing me. But so I go out, I'm starting to take photos, and mind you, this is the first time I'm ever working media for a wrestling show. I've never done it before. And I'm more so just like, I want to get my feet wet. I want to try to get an opportunity. And not even 30 seconds goes by in the first match. I make the number one mistake. I stepped in front of the hard cam and then I stayed there. And that was EC3's introduction to me. That was his full-blown introduction to me. His introduction to me was, who the fuck is the guy in the white shirt standing in front of the hard cam? And like, now he'll just fuck with me and he'll put like a piece of tape now on that cam, just be like the Eric cam. And but I mean, I look, I think the fact that he actually still considered putting me on, making me a part of his team. And I started off just doing like photos. Then I started helping out with backstage photography and backstage vignettes. Then I ended up taking over full media production with their back end guy, Jared, and then our two ringside videographers, Garrett and Trey, and then also hard cam, Michael. And it's just seeing how much it's like gone from, oh shit, I fucked up, to holy shit, I'm doing a lot. And it's been fun. Like, genuinely speaking, like fuck all the clout, fuck all the, oh my god, I'm working for EC3. Like, I'm having the time of my fucking life here. And it's been so much fun, and I've been learning so much, and I've been learning so much about the industry. I've learned so much about the wrestling business as a whole. And I love what you guys do. I genuinely do. Like, wrestling looks like fun. It looks like so much fun. And
Never carried the train.
yeah, and that's actually what I'm trying to do now. Like, I just got into a high protein diet. Like, I'm trying to gain back more muscle, and I'm hoping like within the next 6 months that I gain it back enough muscle to where then I can start training again. And I want to get myself back into shape. I want to get fit, the whole nine. And honestly, I want to at least be able to say I wrestled one match before I die, because I know that if I don't, I'll regret it. and I don't want to die with any regrets. So there's my spiel for the day. Now, a little bit more of a fun question. Say you just got done with a death match with Necro Butcher, and show's done. You just got done, taking down the ring, packing up, putting everything out. You're driving home. It's 1 a.m. Where are you stopping to grab food?
Waffle House.
You're like, we barely ever hear people say Waffle House anymore. All right, so what's your order?
The All-Star.
The All-Star? Yes! Yes! Thank you! Everyone fucking undervalues the All-Star. The All-Star is called the All-Star for a reason, people. Don't hate on it. But, I mean, honestly, that's a solid order right there. The All-Star special from Waffle House will always be a legend. Now, hopping into the Indieverse, our final topics for today. Marco Stunt is officially starting to take independent bookings again. Now, not necessarily for wrestling. He didn't say for wrestling, but for appearances, signings. But he also said for other stuff. So maybe also for wrestling because, he is wrestling next week. Now, we did also find out that Trevor Lee has officially signed with MLW. Seems like MLW is actually signing some pretty top name talent now, seeing that they have signed Trevor Lee. They signed Lady Frost. Who else did they sign recently? They signed Priscilla Kelly. And I believe they're trying to sign Shotzi.
Yeah.
I believe they are. I believe they're trying to. Now, we do have a couple shows going on this weekend. We got the 10-year anniversary of Greektown Wrestling. In a heavyweight collision, we'll see Sam Holloway and Greektown Wrestling champion. Channing Decker and Joey Janela will be taking on Sam Holloway and Bill Collier. I just completely fucked up that main event called. Good thing I don't work for them. Now, a special attraction tag team clash. We will see the League, Spencer Slade and Trent Gibson take on Eddie Kingston and Ortiz. In a marquee women's division match, we will see the Production, Derek Dillinger. Wait, Derek Dillinger isn't in the women's division. Last I checked, he's a man. He is a very burly man. What? Oh, okay. Marquee women's division match. What the fuck ever. The Production, Derek Dillinger and Katie Arquette take on the Hex, Allison Kay and Marty Bell. I hope the Hex kill him. Now, we will also see Silesia Sparks versus Danny Moe. Then Becca versus Jody Threat. Nova versus Lady Frost. High Octane Trios and Singles Battle. In a 6-man tag showcase, Jeffrey John, Cheech, and Isaiah Broner will take on Luigi Primo, Salsa King, and Puff. Then in a grudge match, we'll see Mathis Meyer, Carew, and Vince Valor take on Brent Bakes, Don Freeze, and Devious Cash. Then in a talked about high stakes singles match that a lot of people seem to be very interested in watching, we will see Bryce Hansen take on Marcus Mathers. That should be a good one. That should definitely be a good one right there. Now, tomorrow, we will see WXW present We Love Wrestling 76. In that, for the WXW European Championship, Ricky Sosa will defend against Zoltan. Wait, there's a wrestler that's named after something from Dude, Where's My Car? Like literally, right when I read that, all I heard was Zoltan. I swear to God, if he actually comes out like in a fucking like full bubble suit and then he's just like Zoltan. Dear God, how am I employed? Anyway, then in a high stakes tag team encounter, we will see Los Compadres take on The Grind. Plus, a lot of other high stakes action going on the entire night. It'll be a fun time. If it's in Germany, then it'll probably be hitting everyone in the U.S. around 2 to 3 p.m. tomorrow if you want to watch on Trill. Now, with all of that being said, Sean, is there anything you would like to plug before we hop off?
No, I just, it's an honor to be on the podcast. It was an honor to talk about a match that I enjoyed, which was the tag team match.
Hell yeah, brother.
It was one of those things of, I enjoy doing podcasts.
Yeah, no, I always love having friendly guests on, and it's always a fun time. I'll do a couple plugs here real quick. If y'all haven't yet, head over to nwaliveevents.com, buy your tickets for the Tampa TV taping for the Tampa TV tapings on April 25th. Tickets are getting very close to selling out, so buy them soon. We also have a private seminar happening April 24th at WEDU PBS Studios in Tampa, Florida at 6 p.m. Make sure you don't miss it. Spots are filling up fast. And keep an eye on NWA Live Events for at noon Eastern today. There will be another live event being announced. Stay tuned. And if you haven't already, go over to NWAmerch.shop. Go over, buy a t-shirt, buy a hat, buy your cousin some underwear. I don't know. Get it. Go get something. Buy something off NWA merch. If you're not, you're cursed. With all that being said, thank y'all. We'll see y'all again next week.